I'm one of the founding members of We Will Return, a CT-based organization working for Palestinian liberation throughout CT. You can learn more about us at our website, wewillreturn.org. And I've been working with We Will Return and so many of the amazing organizations that many of the people speaking here today represent for the past 2.5 years and well before that as well, educating the masses, setting up events and demonstrations, and raising money for Palestinians in Connecticut. So today I will be the MC for the program. I'll be leading this program organized by the Campaign to Free Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, which started at a meeting in the Palestine Museum in Woodbridge, Connecticut. We had it about a month ago when Abu Safiya was given the Courage Award. We're going to hear from Dr. Abu Safiya in his own words, regrettably not from his mouth, since he's been in various Israeli prisons and torture facilities since he was abducted on this date 1 year ago today. But we'll hear what he described in his last months in Kamal Adwan Hospital. So he's one of at least 16 Palestinian doctors that we know of, at least, currently held in Israeli prisons alongside hundreds of healthcare workers. They're imprisoned with around 53 women, 400 children, and more than 3,500 administrative detainees held without charge or trial. We're angry, we're passionate, and we're determined to help win freedom for these people. So I'll be calling on 8 speakers tonight to read Dr. Abu Safiya's words, and most importantly, from his posts from October to the day he was taken last December. And after the reading, Stanley Heller will talk about what the campaign has been doing. We'll lead a discussion of ideas that could win freedom for all the abducted. So we're going to start with the readings right now. Stan has chosen 8 readers from various backgrounds with varying contributions to the movement to speak to Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya's powerful words. First, we'll have Ghazwa. Ghazwa is a Jordanian Palestinian mother of 2 amazing boys. Her only wish is them living in a world where justice and peace are applied. Go ahead, Ghazwa.
The image is now famous. A man in a white coat walks alone through the rubble towards 2 tanks, his shoulders squared, steps resolute. The man, Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, is a pediatrician and neonatologist from Jabalia who has served as the director of Kamal Adwan Hospital for almost a year. The scene is of a disappearance. On December 27, 2024, the Israeli occupation forces stormed Kamal Adwan and arrested Abu Safiya, along with hundreds of others. Then set the hospital ablaze. At the time of printing, there are no functioning hospitals in northern Gaza. The invasion followed 63 days of siege. On October 25th, the IOF raided the hospital, detaining 44 hospital staff members. The same day, Abu Safiya's teenage son Ibrahim was martyred in an Israeli drone strike while sheltering inside the hospital. Abu Safiya led the funeral prayers in the hospital courtyard, and as cameras rolled, accused the occupation of targeting his son in retaliation for his refusal to abandon his patients. Over the next 2 months, besieged and cut off the food and oxygen supplies. Abu Safiya and a small team were left to care for the wounded under the incessant fire of Zionist drones, tanks, and guns. It was the 3rd time Kamal Adwan had been besieged and attacked since October 7th, 2023. What follows is a series of communiques sent by Abu Safiya to members of Doctors Against Genocide and healthcare workers for Palestine, either by text or by voice note during the siege. Some were sent in English, while others have been translated from the original Arabic. Several have been lightly edited for length and clarity. All communiques are published with the permission of their recipients. We share these messages to honor Dr.
Thank you, Ghazwa. Next up, we'll have Alice Robinson. Alice was born in New Haven and grew up overseas, including the Middle East. She has been involved with anti-war, anti-apartheid, and other human rights issues off and on since high school, and her current background is in public health. Alice is deeply concerned about the welfare of Dr. Abu Safiya and all other Palestinians illegally detained in Israel's torture prisons. Go ahead, Alice. I just need to unmute.
October 28th, 2024. Most of the specialized medical staff have been arrested, and only one other doctor and I remain. We both specialize in children's medicine. We are forced to provide surgical services without any capabilities. There are large numbers of wounded who need treatment intervention. Otherwise, we will lose at least one wounded person every hour. To the world, we need ambulances and delegations of surgical doctors. There are no ambulances in the north. In the absence of medical supplies and specialized medical staff, we will lose more wounded people. They can't be left to walk until they die in the streets.
I think there's still some more to go November 7th.
Sorry. November 7th. The situation is still very difficult, and we are still trapped inside the hospital. No ambulances in the north because they are unable to reach us. Yesterday and the day before, buildings were bombed. Kamal Adwan was targeted directly and randomly, and crews were injured. November 9th. We urgently call for the provision of essential supplies and ambulance services, as well as the lifting of the siege on northern Gaza. We are witnessing cases of malnutrition and famine in the north. Northern Gaza is enduring genocidal war, and we, quite frankly, suffering in silence due to the crimes being inflicted upon us. Our healthcare system and the rights of our people are under severe threat, and we are in desperate need of medical support. There is an ongoing crisis in northern Gaza characterized by a systemic assault on our healthcare systems. Tragically, we are receiving distressing calls about individuals trapped under rubble, and we are powerless to assist them. They're trapped in dire circumstances, and today we mourn their loss as martyrs. This reality is unbearable.
Thank you so much, Alice. So next up, we'll have Justine McCabe. Dr. Justine McCabe is an anthropologist and psychologist who has done humanitarian work in the West Bank as well as Gaza and is a member of the Middle East Crisis Committee. Go ahead, Justine.
Thank you. November 11th, 2024. I am speaking to you from the heart of the siege imposed on northern Gaza. The area is still devastated. We need ambulances to transport the injured, trapped under the rubble of their homes from disaster sites. We have received distress calls from multiple people. The next day, their voices were gone, and they were counted among the dead, with their homes becoming their graves. This scene is repeated daily. We cannot provide even a single meal to the patients, making their wounds take longer to heal. Nor can we offer a meal to the healthcare workers who work around the clock. We urgently call for immediate intervention by the international medical community. We demand a humanitarian corridor. November 19th. Sad thing I noticed, or maybe realized today. I was looking around for something to eat. I found some guy who sells falafel sandwiches. I noticed that he wrapped the sandwich with a book page. and I realized it was a medical text. I asked him about it. He showed me a pile of brand new books. I asked him if I could buy one. He then gave it to me for free. It is the one known copy of the medical textbook that teaches us how to treat children who have suffered blast injuries from bombs. There is scarcity in everything, plastic bags and paper wraps. So people burnt books from Al-Shifa Hospital's medical library to cook or because they were cold. Trapped inside the hospital, same for Nasser Hospital, same for Al-Azhar University and Islamic University's libraries, and remnants of books after their bombardment.
Thank you for that, Justine. Next up, we'll have David Michel. David Michel is a French-American immigrant and was elected in Stamford as a state representative from 2019 to 2025, 3 terms, where he was assistant majority whip and proponent and member of the Environmental Standards Commission on Offshore Wind, and also co-chaired the CT Animal Advocacy Caucus. He was a member of the Environment, Planning, and Development, Public Health, and Transportation Committees, and was a very close friend and ally to the social justice and labor movements and unions at the Hartford Capitol. Go ahead, David.
Thank you, Basil. November 20th. Yesterday, I received a distress call from the Al-Khaloud family after their home was targeted, and sadly, we were unable to assist them. Whoever could get out survived while, tragically, the others have become martyrs. Yesterday, 17 children came to the emergency room displaying signs of malnutrition. Additionally, an elderly man died yesterday due to severe dehydration. The situation has become increasingly catastrophic, and regrettably, there is no movement or even promises from any international entity to open a humanitarian corridor through which medical supplies, surgical teams, food for children, infant formula, and therapeutic milk may enter. This would enable us to treat malnutrition cases and provide necessary ambulance services. November 22nd, 9:49 a.m. The same scene repeats itself and worsens. A plane suddenly dropped bombs on the emergency reception entrance without prior warning. 4 medical staff workers were injured. Transfer staff was targeted while urgently CT scanning the injured. 2 nurses are in the ICU. The hospital courtyard, where the electricity generators are located, was bombed, causing significant damage to the generator's functionality. The oxygen station nearby was also hit, disrupting oxygen supply to the hospital. 85 injured patients, 8 in the ICU, 14 in the pediatric ward, 4 neonates in an ICU. This is not the first time Kamal Adwan was bombed amidst the harsh and suffocating siege on northern Gaza and its healthcare system. Every time the hospital is targeted, casualties and destruction of infrastructure are left behind. We demand the release of our medical teams detained during the recent incursion on Kamal Adwan Hospital.
Thank you, David. Next up, we'll have Ahmad Hamdan. Ahmad is a Palestinian-American human rights activist located in Connecticut. He has a master's degree in chemistry and has recently begun law school in an effort to translate his passion for social justice into a career where he can advocate for all marginalized people facing oppression. Go ahead, Ahmad.
November 22nd, 11:07 p.m. This attack is considered the second one in 24 hours. At least 3 bombs were dropped. One at the entrance to the reception and emergency wing. Doctors Nihad and Abu Umar al-Hawajri from Kamal Adwan Hospital were injured. Abu Umar died while attending. Dr. Saeed Joda was also hit. The intention here is clear. There is clear and deliberate targeting of the health system in the northern Gaza Strip. We don't know what they want from a hospital that provides humanitarian and health services to the needy. On November 23rd, Dr. Abu Safiya was wounded in an Israeli quadcopter attack while leaving the operating room. The injury to his upper thigh was extensive, with vascular damage and significant blood loss. That same night, the occupation targeted his daughter. She, too, was seriously injured, but survived. November 24th. This will not stop us. I was injured at my workplace, and that is an honor. My blood is no more precious than that of my colleagues or the people we serve. I will return to my patients as soon as I recover.
Thank you, Ahmed. Next section, we'll have John Cappadona. John Cappadona is a primary care physician who has been in practice for 40 years now, teaching resident physicians in primary care. He has held weekly vigils for the past year outside St. Francis Hospital in Hartford and Yukon Medical Center in Farmington, Connecticut. Go ahead, John. Just unmute, John. Should be at the bottom left of your screen. There you
go. Okay. December 1st, yesterday, 5 houses were bombed. More than 200 people inside, including children and women. Only 3 survived. The rest are trapped under the rubble. They were calling for help, but anyone who tried to assist was also bombed. Sadly, the cries for help have vanished. They were killed. This is a truly heartbreaking event that brings tears to my eyes. When I imagine this scene happening to my own family, what would I have done? The scene has become a daily reality, and no one is held accountable. Yesterday, around 200 were martyred. Sadly, we have become mere numbers to the world. December 8th, indiscriminate shelling is preventing us from repairing the oxygen, electricity, and water networks. Bombardment and gunfire have not ceased. Planes are dropping bombs around the clock. A short while ago, the martyrdom of Dr. Saeed Judah was announced. December 14th, it was another difficult night. The use of exploding robots is new to us, and they are getting closer to the hospital every day. 3 explosive robots detonated yesterday, breaking the doors and windows of patient rooms. The sound was terrifying. This has become a daily routine.
Thank you for that, John. Next up, we'll have Reverend Allie Perry. The Reverend Allie Perry is a social justice activist and member of Shalom United Church of Christ and active with the UCC movement for Palestinian solidarity and apartheid-free communities. Go ahead.
December 18th. Yesterday marked one of the most challenging, one of the darkest, bloodiest days at Kamal Adwan Hospital. Fighter jets targeted the hospital and buildings in the vicinity. One of these buildings housed civilians seeking shelter, and people went out engulfed in flames, some tragically losing their lives. 8 martyrs. Children trapped beneath the charred debris. The situation became dire when, with no warning, bulldozers and tanks entered the area, firing directly at the hospital from all directions. The ICU on the West Wing was directly hit. We managed to miraculously evacuate oxygen cylinders. The isolation wing was completely burned by flames. Praise Allah that we were able to use blankets in our hands to put out flames, as we've exhausted all of our fire extinguishers. The scene inside the ICU resembled a war zone. Ours is the only ICU in the north. Gunfire has not ceased around the hospital. There is unprecedented sniping and shelling activity. Our hospital appears to be under constant threat, and its walls are riddled with bullets and shells.
making it resemble a military target. It is a small and simple hospital providing humanitarian services. 9 days after this last message from Dr. Abu Safiya, 2 members of Doctors Against Genocide and Healthcare Workers for Palestine received the following message from Walid al-Budi, a nurse at Kamal Adwan Hospital.
Thank you, Reverend. And last up for the final section, we'll have John Fussell. John Fussell is a retired union organizer and labor attorney, is a board member of Palestine House Freedom, is a board member of We Will Return, and a MECC supporter. Go ahead, John.
December 27th, 2024. We are inside the hospital. We've been asked to go down into the courtyard. We wish everyone safety, and if we are fated to, we will return to you and speak to you in better times. Forgive us for our shortcomings. Now, that same day, December 27th, Zionist soldiers kidnapped Abu Safiya, along with other members of the staff of Kamal Adwan Hospital. Some reports say there were dozens of abductions, other reports say hundreds. On January 3rd, the occupation admitted detaining Abu Safiya, contradicting an earlier statement in which the Israeli occupational forces claimed to be unaware of his case. The occupation further claimed that Dr. Abu Safiya is suspected of being a, quote, terrorist, unquote, and of, quote, holding a rank in Hamas. On January 4th, the occupation extended his so-called detention until February 13th. On January 7th, Abu Safiya's mother died of a heart attack. In August, this past August, his detention was extended for another 6 months under the catch-all measure, detention of unlawful combatants. There is no evidence that he was any kind of a combatant. He remains imprisoned by Israel. Dr. Abu Safiya must be freed.
Thank you, John. And thank you to everybody who spoke truth to Abu Safiya's powerful words. That concludes the portion of Dr. Abu Safiya's words. And now I'll call on Stanley Heller, the Executive Director of the Middle East Crisis Committee and Administrator of Promoting Enduring Peace, to continue on with the program. Stanley will be discussing updates on the campaign, leading a discussion, and also holding a Q&A session. All you, Stan.
Thank you. And thank you to all the people who read. I mean, they should all sign up for Actors Equity. I mean, it was really excellent what you did, and so important. And I love it that we recorded it and we can have it for further use. We're going to continue to record, so if there are some people who feel they can't be involved, they should not speak or have no video, etc. There was 29 of us on, still 27, which is very good. And I want to apologize. We lost a few of Ghazwa's words. Evidently, when you admit someone, it kind of knocks something off. Anyway, just to talk first about what we've done so far. So, as I think you all know, we started this all at the award ceremony, the Courage Award ceremony that was held November 22nd. And we got a good deal of money, and we started this campaign. We, at the end of that meeting, we had a poster shout out. That is, we had small pictures about this size of the doctor, various pictures of him. We all held it up and chanted. And that was powerful. There was about 130 people doing that. That was pretty impressive. Then we had another meeting at the Palestine Museum on December 13, where we heard from several doctors about what was going on in Gaza and several elected officials, which was excellent. And then afterwards, we unveiled several posters, not posters, banners that we had made with some large signs, and we did some chanting there. We had an opinion piece in the Hearst papers, the Connecticut Post, the New Haven Register, and about 8 or 9 other Hearst papers in Connecticut. And then we set up a website, the free DrAbuSafiya.org. I'll put that in the chat in a minute. I'll put that in right now as before I forget. Up until that time, various groups had put material on their sites, but we thought we could best do that. And then we had the idea of an open letter, not a petition. I mean, there's a lot. There's at least 3 or 4 major petitions, some with thousands of signers, which is very good. But we thought if we could have an open letter that would be signed by people who are well known, prestigious, prominent, etc., that we would maybe we could use that, and would be another way of publicizing the situation. And we did get notice already in the New Politics magazine website. We have about 35 people who signed, some very interesting one who led an organization that won the Nobel Peace Prize. So I think I'll put the signers in the chat also. There may be other things that other people have done, but these are some of them. And now, if you would like to speak about the situation, and especially about what might be done, if you could put, what's that word everybody puts in the chat?
Stack.
Stack, that's it. If you could write the word stack in the chat, I will call on you.
Dave Michel is asking to speak.
Good. Dave, yeah, help me with this, John. Dave, go ahead.
I just posted also an open letter to the Connecticut Examiner that was published today. And I just posted it in.
Thank you, Stan, and thank you for everyone who helped put this together. I thought it was incredibly powerful. I guess my question to be like, I'm in law school now, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. I'm sure there's other folks who are similarly out of the loop. Are there any upcoming events that people can attend to like help contribute to this cause? Not just for Dr. Abu Safiya, but just, I mean, maybe Bassett can talk about anything that's going on in We Will Return or around Connecticut, because I'm not really sure of anything right now, and I think it'd be great to pick up some pace.
So as I was saying, I think the in terms of in-person events, I think opportunities and attendance are pretty low right now. So I believe what most organizations have turned to, in terms of at least We Will Return, and I know the coalition as well and a couple other organizations, is just running things through social media. So I think the best thing that people can do right now is just following the Instagrams and staying up to date as well with email campaigns like that, for example, that Santa set up. To stay up to date with future events, petitions online, posting, education, all these things that you can do through social media rather than physically going to events, just as impactful as actually popping in and seeing an event and seeing the people and stuff like that. So I'm going to put in right now in the chats a couple Instagram accounts that people can follow for updates for not only events, but also ways that people can get involved. Then also Stan, I think, can put in the chat as well how to get added to the listserv for the MECC.
Okay, and in the chat, Sarah Miller notes there are also lots of other healthcare workers who are currently detained, not only doctors, nurses, physical therapists, technicians, etc. It also helps to raise awareness about them. And also about outside things, there are um, um, vigils going on. The one in front of Yale New Haven Hospital has been going on. I wish I would know the number. I'm sure somebody who is able to go to that all the time can do it. And there's been others. I think 50 weeks at least. And there's a vigil at Bridgeport, near the hospital there, and also in St. Francis in Hartford. I don't know if it's every week, but
Yeah,
go ahead, John. You were on stack. What did
yeah,
you?
every week, either at St. Francis Hospital in Hartford or Yukon Medical Center in Farmington. We alternate first and fourth week Thursdays of the month. We're out there in the cold, but it's only for an hour, and the bright lights of the cars passing by illuminates us, and it's good. It's just as good. It's a little cold. But the first and fourth is Yukon, and the second and third is St. Francis in Hartford. We could use some moral support. Um, Let me also mention one thing. I raised my hand to mention a BDS. That's something else we can do year round. It's a great action to take, and I'm of the opinion that it works, and I'm of the opinion that that's probably one of the reasons for Trump's ceasefire pressure, and this pressure hurts in the pocketbook. It needs more people, but BDS, Google it and take action. BDS.com, and it's or org, and BDS stands for boycott. What's the D? Divest and sanction. Boycott, divest, and they should always be done constantly. It shows you what you buy. Don't buy this. Don't buy that because of where it comes from. That kind of pressure is nonviolent, but it's effective, and it's something that we can do every day during the cold winter months.
Yeah, so their other pressure is happening monthly, and Alice can back me up on this one. Last week we went to Washington, and one of the things that we asked the senators for freeing Dr. Abu Safiya and 95 health workers. So yes, there's a lot of health workers present there. So this is also a good opportunity to doctors to join that with Doctors Against Genocide once a month. And yeah, the more the merrier.
And there are medical societies. So far, the American Medical Association has been silent. There's a Connecticut Medical Society. That's probably not its exact name. I believe they're in North Haven, and they should be asked to talk about this. And if they don't, perhaps the vigil should move to North Haven. Just an idea.
Yep.
The stack is open for anyone who would like to speak.
Stand.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed you, John. I know you do.
No problem.
Stack.
No, I think most of you know I'm living up in Dover, New Hampshire now, and just wanted to let you know that every week we are doing a vigil. We alternate in Dover between the vigil before Representative Chris Pappas's office, and then the following week Senator Shaheen's office. New Hampshire Peace Action is very active up here, and they're also doing weekly vigils in Concord as well. But I think one of the other things that we should be doing is continuing to put pressure on the state treasurer about the investments that it has. I don't know what's the amount that now stand that the treasurer
It was
has.
106 million about 6 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, and as many of you know, there was a tradition in Connecticut, of putting pressure on the state treasurer and getting legislation passed back, when we were fighting apartheid in South Africa, and the state of Connecticut did divest. So we have a precedent there that we should build on.
Great. I remember now what I was going to mention. An odd statement. We have money. We have a bit of money. And if you want to print some banners, you've probably seen the ones we made. We could make more of those. They're about $60 a pop, and we have enough for that for a couple places in the state. We need people who would store them in their garage or whatever, but we can do that for you. So if you get a group, please do that. Also, remind you of stuff that goes on every week at the Palestine Museum. This morning or at noon, they played a Palestinian-made movie called Hind. It was unbelievable. It was only 26 minutes long. And they had a 7-year-old girl who played her, and it was very professionally done. And they have all kinds of great stuff. Faisal Salah does this every week, and sometimes twice a week, and he's very keen on all this activity. So it's palestinemuseum.us. So you should check out their events, get on their mailing list, and so on. Let me see. Oh, I have to move down. Then I'll know who's on the stack. Okay. Who was the last one? Alice.
Took me a while to find it. So I just also wanted to mention in the New Haven area and in Bridgeport, there are also weekly vigils. I don't know, maybe I missed someone saying this already. They're at lunchtime. The one in New Haven is in front of Yale New Haven. And it's the healthcare workers for Palestine, but everybody's welcome. Jewish Voice for Peace people come, Veterans for Peace. I don't know, just you don't have to be a healthcare worker. And in Bridgeport, I think they hold it at the train station, but Phil would know better. I think it wasn't a good site at the Bridgeport Hospital, so I think they moved it, and they need some support. And finally, I totally highly recommend if you can go to DC, it is really worthwhile. It's well organized. Doctors Against Genocide does the scheduling. So our group from Connecticut, there were four of us. We met with the Democratic senators, legislative aides, including Blumenthal's, and just overall really interesting and good experience to talk to them. I felt there's a big change. I haven't gone before, but the other people who have gone, they are noticing big changes, including in Blumenthal's office. Not necessarily him, but yeah, so they schedule things, and you have 15 minutes or sometimes half an hour or longer, and yeah, very worthwhile. One of the comments that one of the aides mentions, we should be talking more to the Republicans. So next time.
I'll call on John and Justine in a second. I put in MEC's website and PEPS and the email if you want to talk, if you want to get a hold of us to be active on this particular cause or in general, get a hold of us that way. And other people put in the websites of other good organizations. And those three dots, the ellipsis, I think they call that. If you click on that, you can save the whole chat. And so you'll get a lot of good stuff. Okay, John, and then Justine.
I just wanted to mention something that I found very useful over the past month, and that is the Friday at 12 noon 1 hour vigil, 1 hour presentation by AFSC. That stands for American Friends Service Committee, and it's the Quakers, and it's as good as as JVP's Power Half Hour, which I attend most days during the week, but it's comprehensive, and they have some great speakers. And I wouldn't have suspected their level of involvement in the Palestinian struggle. American Friends Service Committee, they're great, as well as giving quite a bit of new information that I wasn't aware of. Reporting from Gaza, as Mondo Weiss does, and of course, Democracy Now! It's kind of where I get my news nowadays. But AFSC, it's a new resource for me, and it's great.
And if you have a specific link, if it's afsc.org, put that in the chat if you would.
I will.
I believe next was Justine.
Thanks, Dan. I just wanted to note a couple of things. When we had our second event at the Palestine Museum with regard to freeing Dr. Abu Safiya, a representative from West Hartford, Jillian Gilchrist, came and she gave a very lovely speech and she publicly called for the release of Dr. Abu Safiya. She's been in the state legislature for 4 terms, and she's now running for John Larson's seat on the first district in Congress. And she has 2 or 3 other competitors for the Democratic nomination. But I think it would be good to look for her and watch her as the race coming up next year appears. It's a very promising site. She's someone that has asked to be educated more about this from many of us. And so she's definitely has put herself out there in support of freeing Dr. Abu Safiya, at least. The other thing is, following up with what John said, I urge people, whatever group you're with, particularly faith communities, some of us are members of the Danbury Unitarian Universalist congregation, and we've put forth, an end genocide resolution, which passed overwhelmingly this past October. And AFC some time ago started apartheid-free communities, and they now have many, many communities, municipalities, and the Unitarian congregation in Danbury also supported that, and so we're now listed on their website. And I can put that free, apartheid-free communities for people to go to. This is obviously for the long run to end an ongoing genocide and apartheid. So I would urge people to think about that too. Thanks.
I'll call on Estela next. Just before that, I want to mention that Representative Gilchrist's speech is on our YouTube channel, The Struggle Video News, and it's going to be on our newest show. And tomorrow, a link to it will be mailed to every member of the Connecticut Senate and House. That should raise some eyebrows. Estela, please go ahead.
I have a question about the signers of the open letter calling for the release of Dr. Abu Safiya. Are you looking for like anyone to sign it, or are you specifically looking for people that are like more medical workers or people that have like prestigious titles, or can anyone sign the letter?
I think at this point, anyone who is willing to put their name and some things about them, you don't have to be a superstar. It would be fine for people to put in where they are generally geographically and maybe teacher or whatever occupation or activist or something like that. The first 25, the initial signers, we wanted to have these more prominent people, but I think we're opening it now to others. I don't see people on the stack. We're to save the chat. This has been great. We haven't even taken an hour. If you'd like to say something or have a question, write the word stack in the chat. Otherwise, in a couple minutes, we'll end. 27 people hung on till the end here. Excellent. How do we add our name? Oops, it goes fast. How do we add our names to the letter? Okay, I see your email there, Ola, and I will basically you can contact me. We ought to get a special email for the website. There's a lot to do. Is there any other questions? Oh, Stack, I see from, was it Ola or did you get?
Yeah. I have a question or comment. I'm hearing that I live in Westchester, and I'm hearing that there's a lot of amazing protests that are happening. I really think we should invite the local public officials to attend these. Number one, they should attend. It's like kind of good publicity for them to attend something like this, but it's also kind of like a duty for them to attend. And I think we need them to loudly to be called and said, please come to these things. You have to hear what your constituents are doing, and we need you to see what we're doing, and we need you to advocate for us. So I think that's like an important thing that we need to do. I don't know if anybody in the group is like targeting these type of officials for all these protests, but I really think that's an important thing. And in general, like if you have these letters, what a friend of mine is doing, she lives in Connecticut, is she's hand delivering like to Himes and the other senator, I can't remember his name right now. But like she's not only emailing letters, but she's actually hand delivering, like say a letter and have it signed by a whole bunch of people, or everybody sends her their own letter with their signature, and she's like delivering physical letters. I mean, there's different strategies of doing things, but everything has to, like, we have to be in their face. Like all these elected officials, whatever titles they are, Congress people mainly, really, because they're the ones who can affect foreign, policy, and the senators, maybe more than town officials, but certainly local officials. It wouldn't hurt, but like you have to be in their face all the time. I mean, this is what I'm kind of feeling is the only way to make change with any of these people, and for them to listen to their constituents and understand what's important to their constituents. And if they don't hear that on a regular basis, they're not going to know what's important.
Thank you.
So it's just an observation I'm realizing also.
And they should be told two facts of life. One is that what happened in New York City with the mayor's election, a third of the Jews voted for people that 1,000 rabbis said was an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
So, they're not buying this stuff, or at least a large number of Jews are not buying this stuff.
Yeah.
And the other fact is what the Zionists have awoken. They thought they could ally with the pro-Israel, not so hot on Jews group. But what they've actually awoken is the anti-Israel, anti-Jews, and willing to say it Nazi loud group.
Wow.
They are, roiling the Republican Party, and a number of people are learning that. So that that should be told to the politicians. Next was the next person on Stack.
It was me, Stan. It was me. It was David.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out also we have another former elected official from the state legislature, Vargas. Ed Vargas, former state rep, who been a champion for labor and education as well as social justice. Just wanted to point out he was on the call.
Yeah, he's on the call. We'll have to send him that open letter. If you'd like to say something, he's very welcome to do that.
Thank you, Stan. Yes, you can put me down as a signatory to the letter. And thank you, David.
Fantastic.
Anytime.
You can put me down as a former deputy speaker.
People are thanking us for a great event. I think it was a great event. And we did it in an hour. And let's go out and organize. So long.
Thank you, Stanley.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you,
for all
Stan,
your
very
time,
much.
hard work. Thank you,
And
everyone.
Basel,
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you. Basel.